All right, welcome everybody on this beautiful day. Thank you all for joining us. At this time, I'm going to call up the color guard from the VFW and the Boy Scouts Troop 71. Would you please present? Color guard. Thank you. Before we do our salute, I just want to introduce a few people that are with us today. We have our Chief of Police, Steve Peters, Captain Sorrentino, and we have representatives from the Monmouth Fire Department, commissioners and the brass guys in the back there. Thank you guys. First EMS. Let's give it up for them for being here. Hopefully we don't need them. We have our former mayor, Mr. Dickie English. Where's Dickie? And of course, all the veterans that are here with us today. Thank you guys. And from my right, Councilman Robert Chara. Councilwoman Thomas Jeffica. Deputy Mayor Richard Long, Councilman-elect Dave Fisher. Salute to the flag, please. Okay, I'd like to introduce from Troop 71, Will Clark, to lead us in the pledge. Thank you. Come on up. All right. Got those big feeties going into.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Thank you. All right. Now, Claire Taylor. Oh, sorry. Will has something to say first.
Scouts and leaders of Troop 71 go first. Honor the men and women who have fallen in the fight for our great nation. Scouts, please present the wreath.
Thank you, Will. And now, here we have Claire Taylor. Come on up, and she's going to sing Star Spangled Banner for us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, give proof through the night
can all be seated, and we're going to have a prayer in a moment here. We have Chaplain Pete Murphy. You want to come up for opening prayer?
Good morning, everybody. Morning. Father, of all of us dead in our silent reverences, we realize the truth of the inspired words. I am the resurrection and the life, that he that believeth in me, though we're dead, he shall live. As comrades after comrades depart, we march with our own ranks growing thin. Help us to be faithful unto thee and to one another. Look in mercy on surveying surviving spouses and children of our departed comrades. We beseech thee, and with thine own tenderness, console and comfort those who are bereaved. Heavenly Father, bless our country with freedom, peace, and righteousness. Through thy favor, may we meet the last before thy throne in heaven. We praise thy great name forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. And I also want to give a big shout out to our friend Carlos Burgos over here at Public Works for setting everything up for us today and being on hand when we needed him. He did it all. One-man band. Great. Just a quick little statement I'll say. Of course, today, Memorial Day, is not just a holiday. It's a day of national remembrance. This is where we remember all our veterans who have given the ultimate sacrifice. 1966, probably the summer of 66, trying to remember, but there was this guy in our neighborhood, Howie Alabu, and he was really a classic character. He had his hair slicked back, and he had the white t-shirt with the cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve here, and the dungarees, like walked right out of the movie American Graffiti, that kind of guy. He had this really cool car, like a 1955 Ford that he had all souped up, and he had in there, I've never seen anything like it before, a whistle. So like if a pretty girl went by, it was like that, one of those. I was like, what? As kids, we loved it. And he used to take it to the circuit in Asbury and ride around and all that. But just a really cool guy in the neighborhood. And then by the fall, he was gone. He was off to Vietnam. And so every day I'd go down the street and I'd see his dad would be sitting in the car. And I'd say, what's wrong, Mr. Alabu? He goes, well, Mrs. Alabu's inside and she's listening to the TV. And they would announce all the deceased every day from the war. And she'd be sitting in there crying day after day. He couldn't take it, so he'd sit out in the car. So it's just something, it really hit me even then, as a young kid, that, this is for real. These folks go to war, and some of them don't come back. So Memorial Day, we want to remember them. They're with us forever and ever. I'm going to mention some names here. Ocean Township. And if there's any I missed along the way, I'm sure somebody will correct me, and next year we can add to it. So here's some that have given their all to the Township of Ocean. These names are up on the board as well. Not all of them, but most of them. World War I, Clarence Bennett, Norman Bloodgood, Howard C. Leahy. World War II, Leonard Benjamin, Ralph Dangler, Theodore Frankenhausen, Louis S. Gimbel Jr., John Lambertson, Thomas A. Quirk Jr., and Burkle R. Rasmussen. Some of these names you might remember because they're also over there at the VFW, the Quirk building, Leahy, etc. Also, we remember we had a ceremony this morning for Sergeant Alan Sherman, and also in 2012, Richard Cummins. Let's remember those folks. At this time, we're going to call up Will Clark again, Troop 71. He's got a scout reading by Robert O'Gorman, and then the scouts will place the wreath.
Robert. I am a first class scout from, of course, Troop 71, and I'm going to do my speech. So today is Memorial Day, a federal holiday in the United States remembering and honoring people who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. The United States has been in 79 different conflicts since the Revolutionary War. For all of these wars, we pay our respects for those who have died protecting our nation. We pay our respects in a variety of ways, from parades to memorial services to laying flags and flowers on graves. One example of these wars, about 74 years ago, World War II ended. Over 400,000 Americans died in that war. They were willing to fight and die, knowing that if they succeeded, their children and their children's children, and many others, will live a life without fear or harm. It is right and necessary to remember and honor those who paid the ultimate price. I may not personally know any or some of these people, but I am grateful for their service and their sacrifice. Because of their sacrifice, I have the freedom of being a United States citizen. With that, I can voice my opinion and publish my thoughts without fear of punishment. I can celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or any religious holiday I want. I can vote, receive fair pay, and get an education, and much more. As you know, there are countless freedoms that we often take for granted. Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, "So those who have long enjoyed such privileges as we enjoy forget in time that men have died to win them." Let us not forget that our happiness, our life opportunities, and our freedoms are the very reasons that we honor those who gave their lives. So, today let's give thanks. Today let's honor the memory of those who made our country the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, guys. We did put your wreath already. All right, I'm going to call up from VFW Post 2226, Commander Jim Mack. Come on up, Jim.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Good morning,
Ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
Again, it's a privilege to be here. I have a very special guest today that I can't wait to introduce. I was going to do my speech first, but I'm going to do this first. Most of you heard about the Battle of Bulge in World War II, one of the fiercest battles ever done. And a lot of people forgot all about the nurses. There was a lot of nurses in the Battle of Bulge. I was on the pad last night, and they had pictures and pictures and pictures of them. But we have one here today. The lovely lady is 99 years old, and she's sharp as a tack. Sharper than me, like But if I get her to come up here and say a few words, it's my privilege. I'm proud to have her here. Will you please come up here? Alina? My name is Alina.
Jim is a master of messing up names, so don't anybody feel bad. It's like, it's a badge of honor if Jim messes up your...
I didn't mess it up.
Well, I am happy to be here, and I'm glad that I was able to go to the World War II and take care of all the soldiers. They were unbelievable. I did not want to go to work in a civilian hospital when I came home, because the civilians complained about every little toenail that hurt, everything. They took the one good arm and would go to the next bed and just wash the person in that bed. They helped out so much, and I am proud to be in the service and do what I did.
Thank you so much for your service. And as Jim said, it's women like you that help the soldiers.
It's a bad remarkable. 99 years old.
Everybody knows the list.
It is. It's a scary day to all of us veterans. None need to be reminded that the reason for Memorial Day would be commemorated. What about the general public? And more important, future generations? Most non-veterans recognize the importance of the daily honoring their fellow Americans killed in war. Judging from what Memorial Day has become, simply another day from work, an answer to resounding no, perhaps reminders do. And this is the duty of each and every one of us. Sacrifice is meaningless without remembrance. America's collective conscience demands that all the citizens recall and be aware of the deaths of their fellow countrymen during wartime. Far too often, the nation as a whole takes for granted the freedom of all Americans. These freedoms are paid for with the lives of the few of us actually knew. That's why they are all collectively remembered as one special day. This should be regarded as a civic organization. It is a national debt that can only be truly repaid by individuals in America. By honoring the national war debt, we preserve the memories, the trust, this service, and sacrifice into the memories of future generations. They come from all walks of life, regions of the country, but they all have one thing in common: love and loyalty to this country bond. Cemented ties between them in times of trial, allowing a diverse lot of Americans to achieve monumental ends. We remember the loss of loved ones, the sense of loss that takes group form. In essence, America is my tongue doesn't work. America is commemorating, thank you, those who make the greatest sacrifice possible, giving one's own life on behalf of others. Means of paying tribute. Pause for a few minutes a day. And personal silence to everyone, everything around you. In other words, take a moment of silence today for all the veterans. Attending commemorative ceremonies is the most likely visible way of demonstrating remembrance. Placing flags at grave sites, parades, sponsoring patriotic programs, dedicating memorials and wreaths, poppies are examples. As Americans, Cold War veterans, fast disappearing from society, there are fewer and fewer standard bearers left to carry the torch of remembrance. Such transitions will live on if there is a remembrance movement to which this torch can be passed. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you. Now we'll have our placing of the wreath. Deceased this year. And that we name the flag he put out here for. First flag to be M. Bassini. Robert Case Jr. Joe Brago. C. Hollis. Ed Potter. J. Vint. Sam Walkies. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my service. Mayor?
Okay, from the Catholic War Vets, we have up Joe Williams, post 714. Joe?
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see a great turnout on a beautiful day. On behalf of the Catholic War Veterans Post 714 of Monmouth County, I would like to thank the Mayor and Council for holding this veteran ceremony each year. It is a great tribute to your awareness and respect for all our deceased veterans. Also, it is a great pleasure to see our first responders, firemen, Boy Scouts, and many of my fellow veterans in attendance today. I would now like to recite a short poem that I modified for your listening. Not how did they die, but how did they live? Not what did they gain, but what did they give? These are the units that measure the worth of a man as a man, regardless of birth. Not what was their faith, nor what was their creed, but had they befriended those who were really in need? Were they ever ready with word of good cheer, to bring back a smile or to banish a tear? Not what did the script in the newspaper say, but how many were sorry when they passed away. Not how did these veterans die, but how did these veterans live? And now would our honor team place flags at the monument. We are very fortunate we did not lose any members this year, but in respect for all the past members who are deceased from Post 714, we honor them with these flags today. And I would also like the mayor to participate, for one of our strongest members was his father, Gavin Siciliano. Would you please join the team in the flag? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your freedom.
Thank you, Joe. At this time, I'd like to call up from Post 125 our Jewish war veterans, Stanley Shapiro and Chaplain Louis Fisher. Come on up, Commander. Please. Greetings from Jersey Shore Post, Jewish War Veterans Post, 125. Thank you, Mayor, Council, Police Chief Peters, Captain Sorrentino, Boy Scouts, the EMTs who are here, the Honor Guard. Thank you. I was sitting next to famous World War II nurse. She's a remarkable lady. Believe me, I was talking to her. She's sharp as a tack, is right. I want to welcome all the neighbors that are here. And again, a nice thank you to Claire Taylor for the rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Yeah. It really was outstanding. She deserves another hand. As stated earlier, Memorial Day is a day of remembrance in which we honor the over 1 million Americans who lost their lives in defense of this nation since the Revolutionary War to the present Gulf Wars. Memorial Day, once known as Decoration Day, to some of us who remember it as Decoration Day, had its beginnings at the culmination of the Civil War, American Civil War, in which families from both the North and the South placed flowers, flags on the graves of their loved ones. The American Civil War was a tragedy. We lost over 700,000 Americans, both in the North and the South. 700,000 men. And there may have been some women there, I'm not quite sure. But the statistics don't tell it all. But when we break down some of these numbers into individual battles, can you imagine 51,000 men on both sides killed at Gettysburg, over 30,000 at Shiloh, Chickamauga, and the Wilderness. June 6th, 2019 marks the 75th anniversary of D-Day, in which American troops, along with British and other Commonwealth forces, landed on the beaches of Normandy. 6,600 Americans were killed at Normandy and Omaha Beach. The total figures for World War II were over 405,000 men and women. Many nurses were killed during this war. The totals for the attack on Pearl Harbor were 2,400. 1,100 were on the battleship Arizona. 1,100 sailors and Marines are still entombed in the waters on the Arizona. We lost tens of thousands of men at Saipan, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. We lost other tens of thousands of sailors, Marines, and airmen in the Battle of the Pacific. We lost hundreds of thousands of men battling the Third Reich, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and in Germany. These numbers are horrible, but we lost almost 40,000 men and women and airmen during the Korean conflict, the Forgotten War. I wish Lou Parisi was here. He'd give us more detail than I can. We lost over 40,000 men and women, sailors, soldiers, and airmen in Vietnam in that long, protracted war. We've lost over 10,000 servicemen and women in the present Gulf Wars. Many of these men and women are suffering from severe mental and physical disabilities. And we owe this generation, as well as the Korean War vets and the Vietnam vets, all that they deserve. Many of them are suffering from severe mental and physical disabilities. The homelessness among some of these veterans is very, very high. We as a nation have the resources to prevent this homelessness and provide domiciles for these people as well as for their families. The 20 to 22 suicides, both amongst men and women, on a daily basis is terrific. It's horrible. We have the means to do so. Suicide is treatable and preventable. We must do what we can to help out these veterans. I'd like to read you something that was written by Rhett P. Brestad, who is now the commander of the American Legion. Generations have come and gone. There were men and women who raised their right arms and swore to defend our nation. They gave and followed orders that at any moment may end their lives. For many, that was their destiny. Thank you very much. We lost a few members from our post this year. Some of them resided in Ocean Township. I don't think many of them were original members, but I'm going to read off their names. Past Post Commander Marvin Goldstein. Coast Guard Nurse Selma Plank. Walter Schindler. Howard Walker. Samuel Moore, back on the boat and liberator. Harry Zimmern. Thank you all again. Thank you, Stimulating the Jewish War Veterans. Very nice. At this time, I'm going to recall Claire Taylor to come back up and grace us with America the Beautiful. Claire Taylor, everybody.
beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and more than life. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thine liberty in law.
Thank you, Claire. Beautiful as always. At this time, Jim Mack, we have a salute to the fallen soldiers and a rifle salute, Commander. And then after that, we'll call up our honor guards with you their weapons. Jim. Our honor guard, it's Lieutenant Ed Segaria, Detective Raheem Carter, Patrolman Matthew Guido, and Patrolman Chris Stenger. Thank you, guys.
Thank everybody for coming. VFW post is open if anybody want to come over for food and refreshments. And don't forget about the EMTs, the fire department, and your police department. They're out there in front all the time. Thank you.
Good time as always. Very appreciate it, fellas. Right now we have Chris Wilson. I'm calling you up for taps, Chris. Practicing hard. That concludes the ceremony. Now the Sick Brass Band is bringing us out. Thank you all for attending. Thank you, veterans.
Yeah, just hang on, mommy. Dad wants to talk about
Thank you.